Hi, everybody. Martin Root with this week's Heaven Maker. And I'm very pleased to announce actually a new friend who I met several months ago when I was doing a Heaven on Earth lecture in Nice, France. And her name is Susanne Frandsen, and she is in Jutland, Denmark. Hi.
Hi, Martin. Good to be here.
A pleasure to have you with us. Tell us, you said something just in the pre-interview here about what you do. What kind of coach are you?
So we could call it a greatness coach. So I help people reignite and unfold their greatness. And primarily it's CEOs and leadership teams, but also people who just want to be the CEO of their own lives.
Beautifully said. And we met at this conference that I spoke at in Nice, and you did something interesting out of that. So let us know what you did.
Yeah, so what you said and shared on stage was your heaven on earth vision. And it just really rings every cell of my body listening to you, because everything I do springs out of the intention on creating heaven on earth. And what I do is help people reignite that part of themselves within, because to me, heaven on earth is an inside out job. So I just really, I addressed you and I asked if I could please be a member of your vision, because I want to just spread the word in Denmark.
And which you did. And now, had you ever thought of the idea of heaven on earth before we spoke, or before you heard me?
No, not as such, not as such. But it's like a beauty pageant. Like, so what do you want to create? I want to create peace in the world. You could have asked me that, and I would have probably answered that. So, same. But heaven on earth is not something that I set myself. No.
All right, and then you took that idea, Suzanne, of heaven on earth, and you did something which was quite beautiful. You decided to make Denmark a heaven on earth country. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So what I did was to create a Facebook group and invited people to be part of it. And just, based on your three questions and the principles around heaven on earth, I made this group and just wrote a little bit about what is this all about. And on top of that, I addressed a online magazine in Denmark called Mula, where we were so lucky that we could make an article, a 6-page long article on heaven on earth. And what is so nice to me is that there is such a notion that you can actually create heaven on earth. There's nothing that stands in the way of heaven on earth except the thinking that we cannot. So by now we have, science within brain science, quantum physics, epigenetics. Everything points to the fact that we can, in fact, create heaven on earth. And this was the article was about this. So that was just great to get the opportunity to do so.
What was interesting to me is how easy you took on the notion, or the commitment rather, of heaven on earth. Denmark is a heaven on earth country. Folks, what's interesting to me is something about heaven on earth, if it strikes you, will strike you. And for Suzanne, working in the field of greatness, it's my country, Denmark, being a heaven on earth country. So you did the Facebook page, and we're going to put the Facebook page up so people can see it. It's in English and Danish. And then you did this massive 6-page article in the online magazine. And then you came to me with the idea of doing a webinar.
Yes, I did so as well. So we had a long talk about heaven on earth, so that people could get your view on it and not just me. So it's just really nice spreading the news. And on top of that, I also reached out to 2 top politicians in Denmark, whom I am, in fact, meeting in September, to promote not only what I'm doing, but also the heaven on earth concept. This is actually a new party in Denmark called The Alternative, and they are very holistic in their view upon the world. So I think this will just suit them very well. And I have all the tools because I work with the CEOs and the leadership teams, and I do have the tools to bring this down on earth as to what to do in your practical daily life. So it suits so well together.
Well, we're also going to put up. I don't remember off the top of my head, but is your website, your personal website or your business website, also in English?
Yes, I have both.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll put both the Facebook page and your personal website on. So, folks, she heard my Heaven on Earth question. She was taken by lecture. She was taken by the questions. Set up a Facebook group for Heaven on Earth for Denmark. Did an article. Did a webinar. Is going to meet with a couple of politicians and broach this topic with them. I mean, really, this was just in several months, Susanne. Just an amazing speed and impact. And folks, for your country, what can you do if you choose to have your own country be a heaven on earth country, and use Susanne's example template to see what you can do to make your contribution to your country, or in any way you want. I think Susanne's point about we all have greatness in us, and what's your greatness? And it may not be taking on your country. It may be smiling at 2 people a day. But whatever greatness for you is, how does your contribution to Heaven on Earth help you express more of your own greatness? Susanne, thank you. Anything else? Anything about what's next or what you're thinking of? Anything at all? Any message to those? Well, actually, let me ask you, what's Heaven on Earth for you?
Heaven on earth for me? Unconditional love. I'm love struck. You can maybe tell, but I'm love struck, and I love that new intimacy that I found, and yeah.
She's in love with a Danish man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am indeed.
Yes, a very lovely man. So I didn't ask you, didn't finish the other part. Anything else you're thinking about doing? I mean, that's enough, just what you're doing right now. But anything else you might be thinking of doing?
Yes, I actually have a dream, because I think that if we should really move forward in a fast speed, we need to get the children aboard, because children are such great ambassadors, not only to the world, but also their parents. So I actually do have a dream about, and I didn't buy that website yet, but maybe some other people would love to take on the initiative. But I would love to start something called Heroes of Heaven, which would address, children and teens, and just make them sort of aware of these 3 questions, and just work it, and have a theme in the school, the class, the friends, whatever. Just to reignite that longing that I think that we all have. So if somebody is out there who wants to take on that job, I would cheer them up.
Susanne, thank you so much for being a heaven maker. You really are.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye.